Trust is a two-way street. The question is not just, do you trust God, but can God trust you? I mean, that's good. So many times we talk about, can I trust God? But let's turn that around. Let's get past that. Once you trust God, look at your life. Look at how you positioned yourself. Can God trust you? Have you been faithful with the little where he can give you much? You know, God loves everybody, but he doesn't trust everybody. God has grace for everybody, but God can only give great tasks, great assignments to people that are faithful with their present ones, with their small ones, with what they're doing currently. 2 Chronicles 16:9 says this, the eyes of the Lord search the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. Luke 18:8, Jesus said, but when the Son of Man returns to earth, how many will he find on the earth who have faith? God is looking for people that have faith, people that are faithful. You know, the fruit of the Spirit, there's 9 fruits, and near the end of the list is faithfulness. Why is it near the end? Man, it takes work. It takes time to be faithful. You know, you can't just be proven faithful in a week or a year. It takes time. Trust is a two-way street. It's not just, do you trust God, but does God trust you? Can he trust you to say yes? You know, when God showed up to Mary, the mother of Jesus, and he told her about what he was going to do in her life, you know, Mary said yes, but you know, Mary was a human. She could have said no. Can you imagine that? If Mary said no, you know what God would have done? He would have done what he always does. He'll go to the next person. And he'll keep going to the person until they say yes. You know, God gave me a task late last year that I got started late on, to be honest with you. I started this year. And he told me what he wanted me to do and about something that, a book that he wanted me to write. And it's just really great idea that I'm really excited about, to put this tool in the hands of different organizations and churches. But he said, Brandon, if you don't do it, I'm going to give it to somebody else. You know, whatever God's called you to do, if you don't say yes to it, he'll just go to the next person. And he doesn't love you any less or any more, but he's looking for people that he can trust. Can God trust you to love people? What does that mean? Can God trust you to love people that don't love you sometimes? Can he trust you to love people that don't look like you, act like you, vote like you, behave like you, live in the same city as you? Can he trust you to love people? Can God trust you with money? You know, money is the resource that this world runs through. And money shows the way to our heart. It shows us what's important to us. You know, if I showed you my bank account right now and you want to know what matters to me, just go through my Chase statement. Just go where I like to eat, what I spend money on, what's my fun money going to, what's my mortgage payment like, what am I spending on? And that's what's important to me. Sure, there's things that I have to pay for that I don't want to. Yeah. But for the most part, I budget my money around what's important to me. In the same way, money is important to you. And God can see what is important to you by how you spend your money. What do you do with the first part? Are you generous? Do you give to your church? Do you give to the people around you? It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you make. And if you're wise financially, if you're wise in the way that you steward your money, God can trust you and give you even more. He can give you more opportunity, especially if you don't make your money about you all the time. You'd be amazed. Sometimes the most generous people can sometimes be the wealthiest people, because God looks at these people as like, you know what? These people have an open hand. They're not closed-fisted. They don't have a closed hand. No, they are open-handed, and they allow me to bless other people through the resources and the money that I've given them. Can God trust you with money? Can God trust you with people? Can he trust you with the lost people in your life? Can he trust you with different family members or different people that you work with? You know, so many times we want better relationships, or we want a new friend, or maybe somebody that we're not in contact with, but are you stewarding well the relationships that you have? Are you a good friend to those in your life? Can God trust you? Trust is a two-way street. I'm reminded of a story, and I'll close with this, a guy named Charles Blondin. Man, I wish I could have met Charles Blondin. He was a French tightrope walker. And what he did, he actually had a rope across Niagara Falls from side to side in the 1800s. And he became famous for his death-defying stunts. And one of the things that he did over Niagara Falls, and this is 3,000 feet wide, 164 feet high, more than 75,000 gallons of water are going over Niagara Falls at every moment. And the water, when it hits the bottom, hits it with 2,500 tons of force. If he falls from there, he's toast. It's over. But he takes these risks, but he just keeps going back and forth in these huge crowds. started to gather around from one to the other to watch him do these death-defying stunts. And he'd kind of keep it fresh, and he'd change it up. One time he went across blindfolded. Another time he even did it on stilts. But I remember this one story about one day he showed up with a wheelbarrow. And if you haven't seen a wheelbarrow, maybe Google it, but it's got 3 wheels, a lawn tool that you use to move stuff around from one side to the other, almost like a big bucket, but bigger than a bucket. It's got wheels. And he started to go across the rope from one side to the other, 3,000 feet, over half a mile. And people are like gasping and awing, thinking he's going to fall over, the wheelbarrow's going to fall. Then he makes it to one side. Then he turns around, gets a drink, and then he goes to the other side. He does it back and forth for a few different segments. And then he looks to the crowd and he yells so that they can hear him. They said, "Who thinks that I can do it again?" Charles is looking around. "Who thinks that I can make it back to the other side?" And everybody's yelling, "We believe. We believe you can do it." He said, "All right, who wants to join me?" Crickets. Nobody wanted to get in the wheelbarrow. They all said, "We trust you, but we don't trust you so much to get in with you." You know, that's what Jesus is looking for. Jesus is looking for the type of faith, the type of trust that doesn't just say, "We believe you. I believe you can do it." No, he's saying, "Can you do it? Do you believe me so much that you will lay down your life? That you will not just see that I did it, but you'll lay down your life, that you'll make sacrifices, that you will move forward in obedience because I say trust." Will you do that? Will you believe? And trust is a two-way street. It's not just can you trust God, but can God trust you? Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope it blessed you. I hope it inspired you, that it encouraged you. Just remember, you are not alone. We are a community, a church that's starting in Dallas, Fort Worth in just a few months, but we have an online community. If you'd like to join this community, just send us a DM. We'll send you. We're starting to work on online ways and online communities, small groups, because you don't have to do life alone. But we believe in you. We see the greatness in you. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure and share this episode. If it helped you, it'll help somebody else. And remember, we are champions not only in heaven, but champions in life. And let's maximize the life that God has given each and every one of us. Leave nothing on the table, because what we do in life echoes in eternity. We'll see you next time.